Moco has so many dope weapons. You have all of these gadgets. You can select 3, same with the passive, so the combinations really are limitless. It's fun to be creative with the builds, but it also can be overwhelming. So if you know what style of class you like to play, I've put together 4 builds that I think suit each one of those. We have mage, healer, tank, and assassin. I'm gonna go over all these builds and hop into a little bit of gameplay to show off each one. Hopping into build number 1, we are running the tank build, obviously running the toothpick and shield. This is number 1, hands down, the weapon you are going to be using if you're running any sort of tank build. The 25% damage reduction, the ability to slam all these enemies after taking hits. Obviously, that thing slaps. For the accessories, for the gadgets, we do have the super loud whistle. This one is unlocked a little later into the game, so if you don't have that, I'd probably recommend either some additional shield or some AoE. So maybe something like the boombox, maybe something like the vitamins, but if you do have the super loud whistle, a phenomenal tank. One of the best tank accessories in the game. Taunting monsters over to you, and you heal. So get the monsters off your friends, heal. Beautiful gadget. The next gadget is the life jacket. Self-explanatory. It's gonna shield you. Any extra shields for this build is gonna be better. And then also it has the explosion effect when it times out or the shield breaks. So because of the super loud whistle, because you're tanking having the monsters on you anyways, just another AoE splash damage. Now speaking of AoE, the last gadget I have in here is the snow globe, and this is definitely one in here that you can change out if you want to. I definitely think AoE or some form of high DPS gadget is the move here if you have the super loud whistle and the life jacket here. But snow globe, slow everything down. You're gonna have everything clumped up on you anyway since you're tanking. This is just a phenomenal thing to run, especially if you're soloing those dungeons or rifts like that with this setup. Snow globe is a phenomenal gadget. Moving on to the passives, first off we have the R&B mixtape. I want to run this just for extra healing in addition to that super loud whistle. I picked this over the vampire, what is it called? Vampire teeth, because a lot of times you're not getting the value out of that toothpick. Sometimes there are scenarios where you just cannot hit enemies. You just have to tank. You have to run around for your teammates, and this one will just provide that continual healing also for your teammates. Next up, we have these smelly socks, just another powerful source of damage to the enemies that are always gonna be up on you since you're tanking anyways. Consistently deal damage to any enemy around you. And then lastly, we do have the healthy snacks. Basically, all this does is increase your HP, and as a tank, self-explanatory, the more HP you have, the better, the longer you can tank, the more shots you can tank, etc. This one just makes sense. I'm gonna hop into a world I'm barely strong enough for. My recommended power is 3,000, and I don't even meet that with this build, just to give you an idea of how strong and how tanky this build is. With the other builds, we'll have less HP. We have 8,700, an overcharged guard. Let's see how much damage he does. Look at how little damage we are taking. He's gonna get this super off. I'm not even touching it. I'm just accepting this damage. And look, my guy Aiden over here. Oh, let's see if we can tank for Aiden. Help him out. Hopefully he can get those stabs on the guard here. But look, like, if this does not give you an example, let me see if I can run up to a boss. Let me tank all this right here. Let me get this boss up in here, tank these guard shots. Like, this is unbelievable damage how much we're taking. And then all these guys can just run up, shred through the bosses. This is why you run all these accessories. If you want to play a tank, if you want to be the MVP to run up in here, soak up all this damage, let me pop this right here. Let me get all these guys up on me so that all these guys can do the damage. And look, we're healing. We're taking all this damage. You get what I'm saying. Tanks are fun, not my playstyle, but if that is your playstyle, this is the build for you. Next up, we have the healer. Yo, if you are a support class, this is the build, man. Let me say, before we even get into this build, an honorary mention. We only have 2 healing weapons. The medicine ball is, it's a healing weapon, but for the heals it provides, you have to kind of tank with, you have to be close range. Not a fan. I think Staff of Good Vibes, hands down, outshines the medicine ball. So that's the weapon, obviously, we're going to use. Take a look at our gadgets here. We have the vitamin shot. It's going to increase your attack speed. It's also going to keep you healthy, keeping your health up, allowing you to heal other people quicker. This one, no brainer. You're healing yourself, attacking quicker, which means you're healing your teammates faster. Makes sense. Going right along with that, additional healing, splash heal. We are all about the healing with this build. This is a support build. This is one where your other 3 teammates going to be rocking that DPS, probably playing that assassin build I have later. Stay tuned for that. But when your teammates are running low on that HP, can't get to them with that staff, the splash heal is the move. That is the way to go. Obviously, the biggest health gadget in the game right now, affecting your teammates, you, everybody. This is just a phenomenal gadget for a healer. And then lastly, we do have the life jacket, same for the tank build. But again, as a healer, you want to do everything in your power to stay alive, so you're healing your teammates. So if you find yourself in a tricky situation, monsters on you, you literally can't do anything last second, pop this, tank all those shots, pops, damages all the enemies, pushes them away, and hopefully by then your teammates are back, you can get the heals off. And moving right along into the passives, because of the healthy snacks, additional HP as well as that tank build, kind of similar with that, but you just want to stay alive as long as possible. As the healer, you want to make sure you are not taken out, so healthy snacks keeping you up. And moving right along, we do have the Vampire Teeth and the R&B mixtape. Both of them, all the healing, every healing in the game. That's what we want to see. Again, just enough to keep your HP up and healing any attack, anybody around you, teammates. This is the ultimate healing build. All right, I am in a big, massive group of players now, and this is absolutely the move if you're going to be running this build. That or rifts, or those challenges where you're going to be running with several teammates, and only one of you should be rocking this healer build, but we are going to support everybody. We got the shield, we're blocking these shots, keeping everybody healthy, and as you can see, my max HP is what, like 8,000 something. We can tank these shots a little bit, we can keep everybody healthy. Look, there was a massive heal from us right there, just from our weapon. We can pop this shield again, tank this right here, heal everybody up, and that's a prime example of how you should be rocking and rolling as a healer, keeping everybody alive. Again, a lot of these gadgets and passives can be substituted out if you want to, but this is just like that ultimate healer build. This is, you're gonna keep yourself alive, you're gonna keep your teammates alive, but you can swap some stuff out if you want to be rocking some more damage. If you want to be, you know, a little bit more tanky or a little bit more damage dealing, you can sub some stuff out, use your own discretion. But again, the ultimate healer, this is how I'd be rocking this setup. Setup number 3, and arguably one of my favorites, the mage, the wizard, the spellcaster setup. I know that none of these are spells, but look, it's a portal, a portable portal, and then we have like fireworks, the zap. Look, these are spells, okay? All right, but hear me out. As a magician, we have our portable portal. We're gonna be filling that up, basically using our little mana. You know what I'm saying? All you wizard. Okay, but listen, going right along, we have our portable portal. It's gonna be your magic weapon here. Gonna be using your rightmost gadget for free once you fill up that bar, which is basically the spell you're casting, and that spell is going to be the multi-zapper, which is a phenomenal damage dealing gadget, especially if you're doing a single target. As you can see, the note here, best when fighting a single strong enemy, because all of the zaps will hit it. So you're fighting those bosses, you get that gadget off, you fill up your bar, and it immediately pops again. You can shred down bosses. That in combination with a passive we will get to in a little bit. Ooh! Magnificent. All right, next we have the smart fireworks. Again, just another AoE, big splash damage. That's what you want with this build. Kind of more of that support role, similar to your support healing. Instead of healing, you're just massive damage. So we have the AoE from the smart fireworks. We have it from the multi-zapper. And if you find yourself in a pinch, you need some singular high damage, you have the monster taser. So all of your base is pretty much covered here. You have that single high DPS monster taser, and then you have a bunch of AoE swarm damage, especially because that portable portal does not deal that much damage. But as a mage, you're probably going to be a little squishy, so we do need that healing. I know it's not going to deal a lot of damage, but your weapon attacks will still heal you a little bit with that vampire teeth, so let your tanks tank for you, stay out of the way, continually heal yourself with those shots and get those gadgets off. Next passive we do have is the unstable beam. Now this one definitely is interchangeable to whatever you guys want. You could use the auto zapper, you could use the unstable laser, but I do prefer the unstable beam. 20% chance to shoot a beam at the first enemy your weapon hits on each attack. This is just a gadget that will help you out specifically with those single strong enemies, and we do need some more of that in this build. And the last passive in this build, arguably the most important, is the unstable lightning. Now this in combination with the multi-zapper that I was talking about earlier, shreds through bosses, okay? Because the description, 20% chance to shoot lightning at an enemy that takes damage from your gadgets. So, theoretically, you could have 12 bolts of that multi-zapper hit an enemy, one enemy, and all 12 of those could warrant a separate zap on that bot. Like, you see what I'm saying? The damage output potential is wild with this build. Now, the mage build is definitely one of those you want to be playing with teammates. You want somebody tanking for you. But we have the zapper right here. We can shred through this boomer. And as you can see, my elixir or whatever, my mana bar here is already recharged back to another ability to shred through those units there. We have our taser if we need those high DPS moments, but we consistently get this multi-zapper off. There's an ability, there's another ability, and we're constantly taking out the AoE units if there are a bunch of units on the field, or we're dealing massive, massive damage to one singular target. But again, this is definitely one of those like, oh, please don't go down, don't go down, don't go down. Oh, okay. Well, as you can see, that's why you want somebody tanking for you. But if you have somebody tanking and you like playing that support, high damage, kind of fragile role, this is the build for you. And the last build in the game is the assassin or rogue or high DPS, whatever you want to call it. We have the speed shot. Obviously the single highest DPS weapon in the game. After 10 attacks, enter speed mode, shooting really fast. And let me tell you, it's really fast. Gadgets are going to be exactly the same as the mage build. We have the monster taser, we have the multi-zapper, and the smart fireworks pretty much for the exact same reason. We have the AoE control, and then we have that high single monster taser damage if we need it. But for the most part, you want to find yourself further back, again, like that support role. This is going to be that glass cannon. There are absolutely no heals in this build. You can throw probably the vampire teeth in for the unstable lightning, but I personally prefer the unstable lightning. We have the unstable beam and the unstable laser. So your boy is getting the most damage out of this build possible. Again, if you want to be a little less fragile, you can throw the vampire teeth, because once you enter speed mode, you are attacking so quickly, you're gonna build that health back up rapidly. I know I didn't give a great example of that with the mage build. You did see me die there, but with the speed shot, you actually do build your health up very quickly. I just prefer the unstable lightning because it's just more damage with that multi-zapper. This is definitely one of those where I prefer to have a team, but as you can see, look at how quickly, oops, we got out of speed mode, but look at how quickly speed mode shoots. And then with that extra DPS, you can see we're hitting for 200-300 sometimes. And you can just stay all the way back here and shred through these units. If you have somebody tanking like my guy, my girl, whoever it is, Dazzle here, you can demolish, I can pop this single gadget and we've just been shredding. And then we have obviously the AoE, we have the fireworks, and we have the monster taser for that high DPS. But you can clearly see how quickly this build shreds through units. I mean, it just demolishes. Oof, I don't really want to tank this because I don't have anybody tanking, and I don't have heals in this build. But let's see how much damage we can do before we go down, since we're the only people attack. Like, is this not unreal damage? Like, we just got that guy halfway down like that. Like, that's wild to me. But listen, that is all 4 builds I have. We have the assassin, DPS, rogue, whatever. We have the mage, we have the healer, we have the tank. Let me know down in the comments what you guys are rocking. If it's similar to one of these, if it's something totally different, I will do a part 2 to this video if you guys want to see it with some different weapons, different classes. Let me know. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.